This is Icon Radio.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all the things that you said we were to gain? What about killing fears? Is there a time? What about all the things that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the blood we've shed before? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping shore? What have we done to the world? Look what we've done. What about all the peace that you pledged your only son? What about flowering fields? Is there a time? What about all the dreams that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice all the children dead from war? Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth as we make sure? Are you
That is Michael Jackson playing the song, Art Song, playing right here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. I'm your host, Wanjira Maganjo, and you know what we do every Wednesday? It's Green Wednesday. I'm super excited today because the conversations that we're going to be having today is something that we all need to be out on the lookout for. And I'm super excited. My guest is already in the studio. We're having a great conversation. Remember, you can chat us up on all our social media platforms. That is on Instagram, on X, on I think we are also on TikTok, right? Yes, I'm in studio with Tangale, the T to the A. I love the massive energy that he brings to the studio every Wednesday. Like we keep saying, Green Wednesday, Sustainability Connect is not an entertainment show, but he brings entertainment to the show. So thank you so much, Tangale, for being our producer today. So today morning, we are going to be discussing about the circular economy. And when we come back, we're going to talk a lot more about that. So karibuni sana. Reach us out to all our social media platforms. And remember, we are live on www.iconradio.co.ke. See you shortly.
Greetings. This is Eric Wanaina. Keep it locked here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug.
Colorful, serene, yet the emerges into view. Heavenly, the scene of worlds pure as green and blue. Harmony and balance existed long ago. Something you and I will never get to know. Man has been unkind. The earth needs our help. Now is the time to see beyond the world. Wake up to reality. The earth is fading fast. We only have one life to live. We've gotta make it last. Started out as paradise for all of us to share, but that has all been sacrificed by people unaware. Industries advance, people progress. We all take things for granted and ignore the SOS. So many voices, so many minds. Why does it take so much to open our eyes? Wake up to reality. This
welcome back to Sustainability Connect on Wednesday, Green Wednesday. I'm your host, Wanjira Maganjo, and this is Sustainability Connect. I'm super excited because today, like I said earlier, we're talking about the circular economy, and I'm joined in studio today by Josephine. Karibu sana Josephine. You know me, I'm super excited. Like I have hype like from here to Timbuktu.
No, you're already sucking me into it, so it's pretty exciting.
So thank you so much. And the reason why we're talking about the circular economy is because we have a conference coming up.
Yep.
But on this particular conversation about the circular economy, can you maybe explain to us why now are we discussing the aspect of the circular economy and what's the whole drive with the conference?
All right.
But first,
yeah.
please introduce yourself.
Okay, I am Josephine, like you have rightly said. Wawira is my second name, and I am the corporate communications manager at KEPSA. So just to give you a background as to how that connects with sustainable inclusive business is that KEPSA in full is the Kenya Private Sector Alliance. Now, your colleague here has asked me, I've heard a lot about KEPSA, but what exactly are you guys, you know? But you see now that's the new generation that will be our members tomorrow, you know, starting from SMEs, business owners. So it's also important for us to create channels that where we're going to reach the Gen Zs and the generation that is upcoming as business owners who will then eventually be members of KEPSA. So KEPSA is the apex body of the private sector. So we represent all the private sector businesses in the country, with a direct and indirect reach of about 2 million businesses. So we also, you know, have connections with partners, development partners, the government, of course. We work hand in hand with them. But also the whole idea why we exist is to provide you know, unified voice where the businesses and the private sector, you know, can, you know, come together and advocate for policies that help to create a more favorable environment for businesses, not just to exist but also to thrive, both in Kenya but also, you know, internationally. So that speaks for our businesses in Kenya, but also for the potential and the existing investors that, you know, come to invest in our country. So then we also have a social arm, which we call the KEPSA Foundation, which also helps to on the socio-economic agenda, helping businesses to advocate for good governance, but also through social projects. And that's where sustainable inclusive business is founded, because then we address the social issues of environment and the people, so that we help businesses to look at their, you know, strategies to have positive, and I insist on positive impact, not only on their profits, because at the end of the day, when you're starting a business, you're thinking about your bottom line. But if you're making a huge profit on your bottom line, and your impact on the people that you serve, the communities where your businesses revolves, and also the environment is negative, then your bottom line is not as good as you're thinking. So our job is to create awareness and to advocate and help and, you know, handhold businesses to transition and, you know, create strategies that are more environment friendly, that are more people friendly. So that is the connection. And then under sustainable inclusive business, we do different projects. So then we can, you know, the circular economy conference being one of them, and then we can deep dive into that. All right.
So I love how you said it. You are looking at more of not just the bottom line. You need to be very inclusive in your business. So when we're looking at the transition of Kenya being now a circular economy, there's so many aspects to it, and I think that's the reason why we're having this conference on the 14th. And coming from, you've done this for the last 9 years. SIB has been in existence for the 9 years. The circular, I mean, the circular conference has been happening for the last. But it looks like it's a facade, man. It looks like it's something new. It's just dropped from manna from heaven. So why are we feeling the buzz right now?
So actually, first of all, I think it would be to appreciate. We have had partners, we have had businesses and stakeholders from the government to the private sector to the civil society, NGOs, SMEs that have actually walked this journey with us for the last 9 years. And it's so exciting to think that next year we'll be celebrating our 10th.
Let me tell you, it had better be grandiose. Yeah, with all these. I have fireworks in mind.
So I think to answer your question about why this conversation is more elaborate now is because when we started, circular economy concept was still quite a vague idea for many, you know. So there was the job of a lot of awareness creation and to reach out to businesses, to reach out to the masses, to reach out to the government, to co-create and to influence policies that go towards environmental protection, but also thriving businesses. So as years passed, now circular economy is not so much of a new concept, and so that's why you're seeing even a lot of people, a lot of stakeholders are able to have this conversation. And now even the circular economy conference and awards this year is also getting more traction because people now understand what this is, circular economy, and what it means for them as individuals, for them as businesses, but for us as well as an economy. So I think the issue of sustainability is no longer a good thing to do. It's a must thing to do. You don't have a choice. Otherwise, you will not survive in the future. You not become what you call future proof. So I think that's why it's such an exciting time to be in this space actually and to be talking about circular economy. And I think we can also help for those who are still struggling to understand the concept, to try and help them to understand in the basic concept, wanasemanga niongeleshe kama I'm a 2-year-old. So we can also take a few minutes and get into that.
I've gone into conversations and guys are like, okay, nyinyi watu wa sustainability mnaongeanga tu jargon. You just speak like so kizungu mingi, kujeni kwa ground mtuambie this is what we really need to happen. So I really love that this conference is open to everyone, that they come and understand from the basic levels of what the circular economy is all about and what sustainability revolves around. So, and what you hope to achieve as KEPSA, because these are conversations that are not new. They've been ongoing. They've been happening. What do you hope to achieve at the end of the conference? Because I feel like you have this specific objective. Is it awareness? Is it more visibility? Is it more businesses coming on board? Do we have organizations signing a code of conduct saying my company, I hope by the end of this conference I will have achieved this, and in the next 1 year this is what I hope to achieve. What do you hope to achieve as KEPSA?
All right, that's a very good question. The most interesting thing about having an annual conference is that you cannot afford to be boring. You cannot afford to be to be relaxant. You have every year to innovate and to come up with creative ideas as to how to push. Maybe essentially it is the same message about transitioning to a more sustainable economy, but then how we deliver that message, how we engage with the partners and the businesses and the civil society is what makes a difference. It's what helps them to see the difference of what you're delivering and what you're trying to communicate every year. So I'm super excited of what my team and I have come up with this year, and I hope that all of the people who are listening today to the show will be there to experience it, because like I said, one of our big mandates is sustainable inclusive business under KEPSA. We say the knowledge center under KEPSA. So a knowledge center is a platform that helps disseminate knowledge, not just information, but knowledge to empower you. But then that is just one aspect. Over the years, we have interacted and we have seen, trailblazers who have already joined this movement and joined the journey. So they are already making the difference. So this conference will not only be a platform to create awareness, but it's also a platform to help showcase practical examples of what circular economy is translated to on the ground. So we have speakers multi-generational. We talked about Gen Zs. We will have Gen Zs from the plenary main stage, 12-year-old, all the way to established businesses and the government, private sector, civil society, to share their statements of what vision they have of a more sustainable Kenya in East Africa. But also then we will deep dive into conversations, panel discussions around let's say community-based initiatives that are empowering women and youth to come up with sustainable initiatives that is more that are more economic, have economic benefits, but also they help them to become more resilient, within their local environments. We will then also have a conversation around how digital influences the transition to sustainability, the opportunities in job creation for the youth in the digital and AI space. Then look at how we can also look, transition from fast fashion to more sustainable fashion. We will have a runway showcasing sustainable clothing and what that actually means for you as a consumer. So it's showing you but also discussing it. But because a lot of conversations are usually, we come and tell you, this is what you should do as a consumer, this is what you should do as a business and as a producer. But our conference creates a platform where you get to hear and see and partner towards that journey.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's a lot of mixture from also looking at, like we mentioned about in the beginning, we were having a discussion about how young entrepreneurs are coming up and they're struggling to venture into sustainable business models. They are struggling with financing on the same. So we have a session on SME financing and development and skills development in sustainability. So, and then agriculture and food systems, all of that, a mixture of beautiful things. And then in the next question, I'll tell you a little bit more of very good, exciting things that will be at the conference this year.
I loved you've touched on those things because I have been looking forward to the sustainable fashion bit of it. That is, the way you always thinking that textile is just another facade of sustainability in terms of that talk. But now seeing it, feeling it, touching it, and actually experiencing it. And I hope this is going to be an experience for all of us because we want to go there and feel like maybe this is doable. This is doable. Like I can also go home and do something about it.
I will make sure that day I wear one of those outfits as the host. As one of the hosts.
Find one of those fashion designers to come and dress me.
I think actually yes, we will make sure that you're dressed in one of those sustainable outfits, but also use that to help create awareness as to why this is sustainable from the production level of the materials that we use, and then to the end of consumer management. What do you do after your dress doesn't fit you anymore? Do you just throw it away, or do you actually exchange, take back, gift someone, or do you even repair? When was the last time mlipeleka nguo kwa fundi ama unasema hiyo itakuwa na kiraka?
One of my previous guests was saying, do you know we can now start having malls where you just take your things to be repaired. Your shoes, your clothes, like you don't have to throw them away. You unaweza kuwa na mafundi tu in one mall where everything that you have can always be recycled or repaired. So we're gonna come back with this conversation. Let me tell you guys the excitement I have. I don't know if you guys can feel it. I hope you guys can feel it. And the reason for this is because this being the ninth conference, the aspects and the dynamics of it have leveled up, and there's now inclusivity for everyone. Like you said, Gen Zs are going to be represented, children are going to be represented, because children speak to children, Gen Zs speak to Gen Zs, adults speak to adults, and I love how inclusive that is, and I love everything is touched around it. So when we come back, we're going to be telling my listeners how they're going to be winning free tickets courtesy of one of our CAPSA partners who's super amazing to just give us tickets for this particular show. So be on the lookout on how to win these tickets for you to come and have an experience. at this conference. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we have more of this conversation. Remember, DM for tickets. If you do not, I will party. It's that simple. We have a code that we're going to be sharing with you soon, so be on the lookout for that. So we're going to take a short break. This is Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug, and this is Sustainability Connect.
This is Icon Radio.
Tree, I'd shake you off. Who needs all those dying leaves? I follow my roots to the underground. Drink wine with all the thieves. If I were a tree, I would give you wood. Make you a dendrophiliac. I'd have a laugh because I could. Oh, my knots and twists are not for that. Uproot me from the ground and plant me somewhere I belong. In the winter when my limbs are so bare. Uproot me from the ground and plant me somewhere I belong. In the winter when my limbs are so bare. If I were a tree, I would age so well. I'd watch the years paint on your face. Follow my roots to the underground. Oh, watch you disappear without a trace. Uproot me from the ground and plant me somewhere I belong. In the winter when my limbs are so bare. Uproot me from the ground and plant me somewhere I belong. In the winter when my limbs are so bare. In the winter when my limbs are so bare. In the winter when my limbs are so bare.
You think I'm an ignorant savage, and you've been so many places, I guess it must be so. But still I cannot see if the savage one is me. How can there be so much that you don't know? You don't know. You think you own whatever land you land on. The earth is just a dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew, you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around you, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorm and the river are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends. And we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down,
Yeah, Larry Dwayne, Generation Restoration. Another one for the environment. Yeah, cut 1 tree, plant 5. Yeah, to prevent climate change. Plant more trees, restore earth. Start now, make a change. Yeah, binadamu alikam na development, akapata ecosystem iko green with a lot of trees. What a scene, so beautiful and healthy. Just look at the trees. Who knew we will be fighting to protect them? With development comes destruction. I wonder why we haven't yet learned our lesson. Ni jukumu letu kutunza mazingira juu ya kesho. The next generation surely will hate us. Tusiposimama pamoja sote tupande mti, ekolojia itadidimia. Tusipoungana na kuelewana, na kwa pamoja tuitete mazingira. Shida za dunia ni sisi binadamu tumesababisha. Tubadilike, tusipochunga basi sisi kwisha. Cut 1 tree, plant 5. To prevent climate change. Plant more trees, restore earth. Yeah. Start now, make a change. Make a change right now, yeah. Deforestation is a big issue caused by us humans. Shida mingi Johnny man-made, self-implicated to adapt a circular economy for our future sake. Miti ina umuhimu mingi sana. Moja yao ni kunyonya carbon dioxide inayojazwa hewani na kampuni. Pia sisi na shughuli za nyumbani na elektroniki zinazorahisisha maisha nyumbani. Ukulima pia yachangia pakubwa na kemikali zinazotumika kurahisisha ukulima. Manufaa yake ni mingi sana, nikizitaja siwezi maliza. Pandeni miti na sitachoka kuwahimiza. Vichwa ziko sawa, jameni haziko sawa. Dunia imefika ukingo, muda mrefu sasa imeshateseka. Cut 1 tree, plant 5. To prevent climate change. Plant more trees, restore earth. Start now, make a change. Make a change, make a change. Plant more trees. Yeah. Hatuna dunia ingine. Yeah.
That is Larry Dwayne with the song Plant a Tree, happening here on Icon Radio, number 1 entertainment plug. And I'm your host, Wanjira Maganjo. And this is Green Wednesday, and this is definitely Sustainability Connect. Remember, DM us for you to win a ticket to the 9th Annual Circular Economy Conference, happening next week on Thursday, that is the 14th, at the Catholic University of East Africa. That is Catholic, not Catholic. It's Catholic. So karibuni sana, back to the show. I'm still here in the studio with Josephine, who's giving us insights on what to expect at the conference. And boy, oh boy, aren't they great insights. Let me tell you, if you're not excited so far, just listen to what she has to share next. Yeah. So right before the show, we were talking about the themes and what to expect. There's gonna be a fashion experience about sustainable fashion. There's also gonna be panel discussions. There's also gonna be a lot of other showcasings by other spectacular companies in the sustainability sector. And us as Icon Radio, we are very super proud to be media partners for this event, and that is why we're having the 50 tickets. Are we giving out 50 or 20? We will decide. Tutaona vile mtatupeleka. Mkitupeleka mbio tutajua. So we are super excited. That is the reason why we're having these free tickets for you guys. So remember, DM us. If you do not DM us, you're not gonna get a ticket. Remember, you're DMing us on Instagram and on LinkedIn. Those are the two spaces that you DM us on. And we are on LinkedIn. We are actually just Icon Radio, and Instagram we are Icon Radio KE. So that is where you find us. And also tag me in all your activities that you're planning for this particular week, because we have a lot of activities happening this particular week. First of all, let's give a round of appreciation to, not even appreciation, a round of applause to all the companies that launched their sustainability reports yesterday. One of them being Biofoods, as well as CSC Insurance. So we're going to be talking about their sustainability reports in the coming few days. on our socials because we just need to know what it is that they're reporting and how they're reporting. We want to know how their social impact is, how their governance is, and how their environmental strategies are working. So be on the lookout for that conversation on all our social media platforms. And yeah, let's go back into the conversation. So Josephine, tupatie mazuri mengi. Tell us more, because we need to let me first ask her, when you're talking about sustainability so far, who are the most age gap, looking from both corporate and individual levels, who are the most enthusiasts in this particular space? Because we feel like there's a link missing. So we wanted to know from, I know you guys have done reports over and over, you've done studies, who would you say would be the biggest enthusiast about sustainability?
It's an interesting observation.
Yeah.
Because from a general perspective, you would say it's an all-round across all ages. But from a business perspective, you would think, in past, before the conversations about sustainability, about ESG, ESG actually was more of CSR, CSR,
The
planting
transition
tree,
to-
but now the transition has come to ESG. So we still have a lot of business owners in the higher or older age category who are still adamant about incorporating sustainability into their, because now it is a change, and change doesn't always happen so easy.
It always has to have resistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then you have the younger business owners, the younger generation, SMEs, who now, because of seeing what climate change has done to the planet, the impact it has on the environment, on the planet, and equally on the on the economy and the environment that they are doing businesses in terms of even the bottom line, they have now realized that it is better to incorporate sustainable strategies at the very beginning of them setting up their business ideas. So then you find that there's now that increase in incorporation of sustainable models right from the beginning of business ideas, and that of course is by the younger generation. But then we have also another age group that they're not necessarily business owners, but they are more environment or conscious consumers. So they are the people you're selling, businesses are selling their their products to, their services to, and they are questioning, is your product sustainable? Is your product environment friendly? Is your product what strategies do you have for waste management after we finish using your product? So then that generation is now pushing the businesses to actually adopt, whether they like it or not, because the consumer at the end of the day will be dictating the reception of their products. That's why
we have literally moved from the means does not justify the end.
That can
For
be
a few-
interpreted differently. It can be interpreted differently,
Yeah.
because for some, the means, which is getting to reach a bigger consumer target audience, justifies the mean. They justifies you transitioning to sustainability.
Yeah.
But someone else might interpret it the other way.
Yeah. Because they're
So-
like, our bottom line has to be reached
Yes,
by fire by
yes,
force.
by fire by force. They buy, they don't. It's their
Yeah.
problem. But again, we have businesses have to think, like we said, the 3 P's: the profits, the people, and the planet. Those 3 must go together. If you're making good profits and your negative impact on the people and the planet, trust you me, there are others who are doing better than you, even if their
Yeah.
bottom line is not as high as yours.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I love that. And it's that's a profound notion when you're looking at it, because a lot of businesses now they're very conscious, but some are very ignorant. But let me give you an example. The other day, my kids were like, we want to eat spaghetti, and I just went to the supermarket, picked a brand. I didn't even check what brand it was, and I cooked it and we ate it. And then when I went to wash the sufuria, you see the way like everything would just it's called disintegrate, and it just inaharibika tu yote. That one didn't. So we literally ate plastic without knowing. And I tried looking for that paper. I was like, I wish I had, before I threw everything out, I wish I had known what brand I had bought.
Okay.
Because there's no, you can tell me, when you're trying to wash a spaghetti sufuria, the residue is not coming off. That is one. That is spaghetti. Spaghetti is like rice.
Yeah.
This mantles like so fast.
Yeah.
And it just it degrades very fast. This one didn't. Like you try and pull it, I was like so pissed. Do you know I have stopped buying spaghetti in my house? I have literally stopped. I'm like, I am no longer buying spaghetti. No offense, because they are very good brands.
Yeah.
It's just that I did not know what brand I picked because I was in a rush. Because we're like, let's just eat very fast. Like, I am done.
Yeah.
So I think we need to be very conscious, because who's gonna protect us as consumers?
Yeah. Good question. And I think that's why then the consumers are becoming more conscious and aware, and so they demand and they dictate that producers and retailers must also move towards sustainability, not just for it's also for your health, and that's why the aspect of the people comes to play. It is also for the consumer's health as much as it is for the health of the planet. And I'll give you one fact that also awareness creation is going to play a very key role. And for us, that's what we are aiming through the conference and through all our initiatives. For instance, we have a campaign called Let's Be Clear Challenge. So when we started that campaign earlier this year, we were working with businesses under the Kenya Plastics Pact to help them to transition to more recyclable and reusable plastic packaging, including plastic bottles and PET bottles, and HDP bottles and jars that you buy your oil with. And our discovery is that colored PET bottles, like your water bottle that you buy, colored or multi-colored PET bottles are very difficult to recycle. And what happens is that they end up being disposed of in the environment. So PET, those bottles, people say the problem is not the PET. The problem is how we relate with it and how we manage it after use, post-consumer, life cycle.
Yeah, sure.
So
actually, that is very true.
It's very true. So we have advised businesses to transition their PET packaging to clear bottles, because then that is recyclable, not just to for instance another bottle, but also to more materials or products that can go back to the environment, and so we have more recycled content to back to the market. So hopefully, and we're working on it during the conference, we are going now to launch a consumer campaign where now we tell the consumers, this is what you look out for when you go to a retail to buy your water bottle. Select the clear one. So now the brands, the producers, the retailers will now know that the consumers are more sensitized to go for the more recyclable, more reusable bottles. So even them, they'll be forced to transition. And we already have, companies that have already come and made their commitments, and we'll be, announcing them during the conference.
Oh, that
including
is amazing. That is the reason we want it. We want to hear what they're doing.
We want to hear them doing. So we hope to engage not just with the businesses and the producers, but also with the consumers, because then they will also help us push the producers towards producing and rethinking their designs to more reusable and recyclable. But you also, as a consumer, before you go and buy a PET single-use plastic, invest in one that you can reuse over and over for years.
And I know that is going to come with a lot of challenges, because we've been talking about brand and design, because some companies are identified by the color, by the design. So that actually design is not as much like the branding, the color of the bottle.
So I'll tell you what we have done to address that issue. We, within that challenge, for the brands that have come on board to work with us in transition or redesign their products, we had, that is also some of their concerns. Our consumers, our customers already know us with this brand. So what we did is that we not only worked with the technical teams that design these products to understand the technicality, the chemistry around it, but then we also worked with the marketing teams. and we sat and understood what does the consumer want, how best can we package messages that will help the consumer understand that the contents in this packaging has not changed. The tastes that you like is the same. You know, the if it's a soda, it's the same thirst quenching, you know, content that you like. The only thing that has changed is the packaging, and this is the reason why. It is good for you, for your health, and it's also good for the planet that we live in, because we have to protect both. But also working with the executives, because then they make the decision to pass, you know, if it's redesigning, they have to sign off. So we needed that buy-in also from the management and from the executive. So that is the process we have worked with, understanding that, you know, there are all those aspects of it is easier to change the design, but will it be accepted by the consumers? And if not, how can we help them communicate in a way and market in a way that that message will reach home? You know, it's the product has not changed, the packaging has changed, and these are the reasons why.
The awareness that you guys have to do.
A lot of it.
And these brands, the amount of awareness that they need to do.
But then we realize that it is sometimes difficult if brand A goes with this campaign alone. So what we are trying to do with this upcoming public awareness campaign is to bring those brands together, including the government, because there are also policies that, you know, support this transition to more recyclable towards the EPR, the extended producer responsibility. So what that does is that we move as an industry, we make a movement, so the consumers know that this is not brand A trying to cheat us. This is actually an industry trying to make a difference. This is a thing, and we want to be part of that thing.
That's amazing. And I hope brands come on board, because when your collective voice, then even your campaign becomes so much easier. You're not struggling, you're not trying to tell people, oh, we're still the same. Like, literally, it's going to be a campaign that tells everyone that please be on the lookout. All these companies have signed a pact, and they're now doing this.
They are committed towards sustainability.
And I love how you're saying it, that, you know, being a collective voice is the only way out. If you go and not alone, it becomes such a struggle. So I am, by the end of this conference, literally all the companies that are not on board, they will be on board, because now they will see the need. Actually, they already see the need. It's just that they're being adamant. So there's another thing that we have done to actually ensure, you know, people, what incentives are good, you know, incentivizing someone for doing something good is actually a good thing. So one of the things that we actually are going to do is to also recognize and reward businesses that are trailblazing in towards circular economy through our inaugural Circular Economy Awards on the same day.
So that will be the climax of the conference. So we have 8 initial categories to start with, and I'm glad to say that this is in partnership with Wanjira Advisory, who have put together the awards and are planning it, and then we will provide a platform for us to be able to recognize. So we have a lot of other awards. We have sustainability awards, we have you know, packaging awards, we have producers awards, we have manufacturers awards. Circular economy now brings all of those. It's the umbrella economy, and it is the first in Kenya, I believe, in East Africa. So we are very excited about it as well. So among those categories, if I can remember, we have, for instance, the community initiative of the year award, because then we are very key on focusing on the people and opportunities this year, because that's actually our theme, people and opportunities. So we're exploring how circular economy will bring opportunities to the people, and how people can utilize those opportunities to make a difference. So from the community initiative of the year, we have the SME of the year, all this within the circular economy. So the circular economy SME of the year, financier of the year, because again we have banks that are transitioning to also incorporating sustainable models, you know, and providing funding and grants to sustainable models. So we want to recognize those as well. We have the young champions of the year. We also have, I think, the overall being is a circular economy leader of the year. We have others, including the EPR of the year and the
Wow.
innovation
Mhm.
circular economy innovation of the year. So there are 8 in total,
Mhm.
and we have already closed the nominations. So the
already?
panel of jury, we had a lot of submissions. So
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, how many? I mean, how much submission was there? Because
we-
I'm pretty sure that could have been a lot. It's just that now, for them to reach that benchmark.
Yes. So it's a lot. We have a panel of judges that are looking at those nominations, including NEMA, because they're the regulators. So we also want to avoid greenwashing. So whoever will be announced as the winners of those 8 categories, be sure that they have gone through vetting by a panel that includes both the regulator, but also from the private sector and the civil society, to make sure that it's a balance and it's a genuine, nomination and award.
And this is not ideation. This is something that is on the ground already working.
These are people, businesses, initiatives that are already on the ground making that difference, beating those stereotypes of this cannot happen. Circular economy is not real. These are people who are saying we can actually make organic manure from organic waste that is disposed otherwise in landfills. Or these are people who are saying we can actually make let's say we can make pet food from black soldier flies, which are produced using organic waste. So there are different categories, from textiles to agriculture to food, all of those. So that's why we say it's circular economy and it's all over. And we believe as we grow from next year, being this the first year that we're having the awards, then we will incorporate more categories as we also listen to the public and the businesses what they're looking to recognize.
Let me tell you, young people, Gen Zs and everyone. I mean, I'm so sorry. I keep addressing Gen Zs, but this is where we are heading. We're looking at institutions. These are corporates, individuals, and organizations that are gearing for change, and they're championing in for change. If you have an idea and you've not yet known how to implement it, this is the right space for you to come and learn. Come and see what other people are doing. See how to tweak it and work it and make it work for you and your community, because we are encouraging young people to be solution oriented. Don't just create apps. I love what Vusi says. I keep giving this example. Vusi says, if you're living on a road, you usually use a road that has potholes. Find a solution for that pothole. Find solution either from waste or from using the regular kind of making of tarmacking. Find a solution.
Or bricks made from plastic waste.
Exactly. Find a solution for that particular problem for your community. Then you will move away from always asking for handouts and for always saying that my app can do this. We should be evolving away from apps only to solutions on the ground. So identify a problem in your community and come and benchmark during this conference and see what are other communities doing.
And I think the best connection to the example that you have given is actually to realize that we're not discouraging the apps. We're just saying the apps can, contribute. Technology is a platform to aid that innovation that will then provide that solution to the communities. And I think that's why even that, community initiative of the year award is, we have very interesting submissions that we are like, oh, that is very interesting.
So how are you as KEPSA going to measure the impact of this event?
So our conferences target around 250 to 300 physical participants. We also live stream parts of the conference online. So of course measuring is usually through the participation. But the most important thing, like I said, it's not necessarily people coming to the ground, is what they come out of it from that conference. So we are very keen on what we call a community of practice. So that community that we create of sustainable businesses, sustainable organizations, sustainable individuals, or individuals who are championing sustainability, they come together and we continue engaging with them over the year. So from last year, there are community people who joined the community of practice that we have now been engaging with them through other different projects to create an impact, so that there is a connection between 1 year's conference to the other. It doesn't end on 14th. It doesn't start and end on the 14th. It starts on the 14th it will end and restart at the next conference. So throughout that year, we have now other projects that we implement with most of the people and most of the partners being people that we have connected on those conferences.
Oh, wow.
This year, what we also want to facilitate is a very interesting thing. When is the last time you went for a speed dating? Have you ever even?
I've done speed networking, but not speed dating.
So it's
That's
the
a lot
same,
of that's a lot of work. Eh?
It's a lot of work, but it's
Yeah.
the same concept that we're bringing on. So we will have 1 hour of business speed dating at what we are calling harvest table, because we want you to be on that table and harvest ideas, harvest contacts, harvest partnerships that then you can use after that conference to be able to connect, either create businesses, create a partnership, create a project. And so for us, it's more than participating. It's about what you get out of it. And I
So
think
how long
that's
how
very-
long is the speed networking gonna be like?
It's a 1 hour full, but then you'll be given, you know how it works.
Yeah.
So maybe wewe ndo utakuwa hapo ukiwaambia
Mimi ndo nitakuwa hapo
3,
nikiwaambia
2 minutes
2 minutes
zimeisha,
one, eh?
go to the next one. And then so it's up to
Yeah.
you to come with your contacts, you know,
Yeah.
carry your business cards, come and be ready to pitch your idea. Maybe that is where you meet your next soulmate in business.
Yeah.
It could be an investor of your business idea.
Yeah.
It could be someone who will believe in you and actually partner with you to take your business